one, yes, the running backs aren't doing as well as they should be. Number two, Sean's not doing well with sticking with the run. And number three, it just comes down to just mentally and physically, are we ready to run the football? This is the highest paid offensive line in the NFL.
It's true.
And the reason why we paid this offensive line was to be a run-first team. That's not the case this year, which is fine. Bo Nix is flourishing. We're winning games. We have one more game, and we're able to get to the playoffs. But if you want to make some noise in the playoffs, the team that can run the football in the code usually wins games.
Well,
simple as that.
Well, I'll say this. I think both of those two things live in the same universe. I think they're both true. I don't think the Broncos have a good collection of running backs. And I think that when they have performed admirably, Sean Payton, for whatever reason, cannot get out of his own way. And you cannot emphasize him writing that message to himself that he was pissed got on TV. You can't emphasize it enough. He knows how he can get. He knows it. And even in a game where he wrote himself a big note of run it, he threw it 40 times.
40 times.
And they carried the ball 18 total as a team.
And they were running well at the beginning of the game.
They were.
Audric Estime gets on the board, scores a touchdown, like a 3-yard touchdown.
Yep.
Javonte Williams is running well. It's setting up the pass, play action. Bo Nix has the opportunity to throw the ball or run it if he has to. It just made the game easier for Bo Nix. It made the game easier for the offensive line because as offensive linemen, it sucks having to take steps back and pass block all day, and hopefully you don't hold. But when you're running and you're going downhill, it's just a physical mindset. It sets the tone.
Yes.
And you set the tone early, you get away from it, you lose the game. Against the Cincinnati Bengals, you set the tone early, you get away from it, you lose the game. Just stick with the run. I'm not saying it has to be balanced to where you're running 30 times and passing 30 times. But run the ball 22 times, pass it 30 times, whatever it takes to win the game. Get out of your own way, Sean, and just coach the game how it's supposed to be coached at the time.
So you and I, for as much as we disagree, we agree on this. We really do. I have no disagreement in that category. Where I think our paths might go different ways is that when these running
yours is in a rocky path.
well, like Phil, as someone who used to house call it, as someone who used to get it on the opponent's 40-yard line and end up with 10 toes in the paint.
Yeah.
It's got to be hard for you to reconcile that Javonte Williams, Jaleel McLaughlin, and Audric Estime, we are nearly through an entire NFL season. We're through the traditional 16 games that you used to play with. And we don't have a run for 22 yards between the three of those? That's insane,
It's insane,
Phil.
but it's no trust. You want to know the difference between me when I was breaking those off house call 2018 year? Coach Vance Joseph, who's my coach, he came to me and said, hey, I trust you. I trust you. I know that you're going to break in this game. And he would go out there and give me enough carries to break. With Sean is so stuck in, hey, we're running the ball. We're not running the ball to set up the pass. We're a pass-first team. We're running the ball to keep a defense honest. But I want Bo Nix, my baby, the one that I handpicked, to be the star of the show, which is fine. Be the star of the show, but I still have a running game. There's enough to go around for everybody. And it just helps Bo Nix out a lot more if you can run the football. It helps the defense out to where the defense is not on the football field for 42 minutes against the Cincinnati Bengals, and we're on the football field as an offense for 27 minutes. It just keeps balance, Zach, and that's why you got to stick with the run, even if you're getting 2 to 3 yards. It's boring football, but it's winning football.
But can you admit that getting through an entire NFL season and your top 3 running backs don't have a carry for 22 yards is like
it's insane.
You should have ran into one by accident.
No, it truly, it's insane. But this is where it comes down to, why did we give Javonte Williams so many opportunities? Why wasn't Jaleel not the starting running back, earlier? Why is Estime still not getting the carries that we think he should have? Because if he's the one that we believe can carry the load next year, he should be getting more carries. Why is he not getting carries? The trust factor is just not there with Sean. Something about these running backs Sean is not liking. Because if that was Alvin Kamara, if that was Mark Ingram, if that was Reggie Bush.
Well, here's the thing. These guys aren't those
they're
guys.
Not. But how do you become them? You have to give somebody some more opportunities. You can't tell me Jaleel McLaughlin wouldn't bust off a 21-yard run if he gets 12 or 13, 14 carries. My man got 10 carries for 69 yards.
Well, he's had 97 carries this year and not one run of 22 yards. Javonte Williams has 134 carries, not one run of 22 yards. Audric Estime, 64 carries this year, not one run of 22 yards. Add it all up, the Broncos running back room has 295 carries this year.
I agree. It's
no
not
run
good
for
enough.
22
it's
yards.
not good enough. But also, do you believe Sean has set the running backs up for success?
No.
When have you truly just seen in a game where there's pullers and there's creativity? Maybe once in a while.
And it's usually worked.
And it usually works. But for Bo and Sean right now, Sean's mindset is pass first, run second. Use the run to kind of keep people honest and create these guru of play calls when it comes to the passing concepts. That's what I'm seeing out of it.
Well, we agree on most of this, I think. I think we agree on most of
Who
this.
should start, Zach?
Jaleel.
All right. Why?
Jaleel. It's just the eye test. I mean, just the eye test. The fact that he averaged 6.9 yards a carry and didn't get 11 carries is insane. It's insane. It should be Jaleel. He does hit that hole different. He doesn't have some of the trust issues that maybe Sean or even myself or you have with Audric Estime putting it on the ground multiple times. So, yeah, I just – it's got to be better. Sean's got – both things are true for me. Sean's got to be better at it, and the running backs have to be better. So, I can't
– throw a running back a bone. Let him chew on it for a little while, not just throw it for a half second and bring it back. And then we can put it on the running back, Zach. Until then, Sean, run the damn ball.
All right.
Mic drop.
All right. We have the official inactives here for the Kansas City Chiefs. All right. Whoa. Chris Jones will not play. Pat Mahomes will not play.
Shocker.
Trent McDuffie, the corner, one of the best in the league, he will not play. George Karlaftis will not play. Running back Kareem Hunt will not play.
That was interesting.
Nick Bolton will not play. Justin Reed will not play. Drew Tranquill will not play. Well, I should rephrase it. They're all doubtful, which is probably a signal that they're not.
Yeah, they won't play.
They're not going to play. Then there's guys who are officially ruled out. Isaiah Pacheco will definitely not play. Juwan Taylor will definitely not play. All right, he's their right tackle. Mecole Hardman will definitely not play. And Jalen Watson will definitely not play. Phil, we kind of thought that this was going to be the case.
Yeah.
The Denver Broncos have to win this game to the point where, man.
13 players are not playing. 13 good players are not playing.
That's quite a list, Phil. And I don't want to get carried away and start to get dismissive and say it would be embarrassing if you lost, because we've been saying, hey, well, these guys are Super Bowl champions, and that's all still true. But seeing that list, damn, they have got to win this game.
Yeah, they have to win the game no matter what. Even if Patrick Mahomes was playing or not playing, the Denver Broncos have to get this win so that they can go to the playoffs. All right, they still control their own destiny. The Denver Broncos still control their own destiny. Go out there and handle business against the Chiefs at home. Last home game, like we've said, give Broncos country something to chew on, something to be excited for, a little bit of momentum going into the playoffs. Sean, call a great game. Defense, do your part. Bo Nix, play turnover-free, basketball, football. And Jaleel, go ahead and get your 100 yards. Go ahead and run for 100 yards this game, because their opportunity is there. You have some momentum in your favor because you had a good game last week. Finally be that running back that goes over 100 yards.
The last running back to rush for 100 yards for the Denver Broncos was Latavius Murray.
Old man Murray.
That is nuts.
I think he was in his 12th year when he was with the Denver Broncos. Maybe even more.
That is insane. How about Jaleel? In 2 of the last 3 games against the Cleveland Browns, he averaged 6 yards a carry, 14 carries for 84 yards, and then 10 carries for 69 yards, averaging 6.9
He's ready.
a carry.
He's ready to. It's there. It's there for the taking. The offensive lineman want it. He wants it. So go out there and get it. Go out there and give Jaleel that opportunity. And Jaleel, when you have that opportunity, take it.
Got to take it. Got to take it.
You have to take it.
Got to take it. And you look at some of the linebackers that aren't going to play in that second level of the Chiefs' defense, where Jaleel could get tripped up or has gotten tripped up. What we say, Drew Tranquil.
Yep.
He's not going to be there. Nick Bolton. So two of their starting 3 linebackers are not going to play, with Leo Chanel being the one that is playing. You know what? I like that prediction. Jaleel going for 100 yards, being the first 100-yard rusher since Latavius. I like that. Okay. If the Broncos are going to ensure themselves a playoff spot, one thing has got to change in a hurry, Phil. The Broncos defense in the month of December is ranked dead last in the NFL in total defense. When was the last time the Broncos defense was ranked dead last over an entire month? It was the start of last season when they gave up the 70 burger against Miami. As bad as it was then in total defense, that's as bad as they have been in the month of December. They have got to figure this thing out here.
They do, Zach. They have to figure out what's going on, figure out who they want to be, get back to what they were doing best, getting pressure on the quarterback, making big plays, flying around, being aggressive. And now that we have, so the biggest thing, the biggest talk was Levi Wallace was in, Riley Moss was out, and that hurt us. And you had Jerry Jeudy go for almost 300 yards receiving because of it. Well, then Riley Moss comes back, goes against T. Higgins, who, by the way, is no pushover. He's an elite receiver, probably a number 1 on a different team.
Totally.
Now, Riley Moss is coming back after 4 days off. He had 3 days or 3 games where he wasn't playing, and then he had a bye. You come back and you get torched. You get mossed on. You don't look the same. And I want to defend my boy because I don't think he was right. I don't think he was healthy. One, he was not in shape. When you take 3 to 4 weeks off, you're not going to be in shape.
Definitely.
And when you come back, you're going against a high-powered receiver with a really great elite quarterback. It's going to be tough on you. And you know that you're going to get majority of the passes your way because of Pat Surtain. Now, for Riley, it's time for you to step up. You had that one game to come back, and you kind of you said it compares to Coach Prime's boy.
Yeah, Shiloh Sanders.
Shiloh's.
He came back after breaking his forearm. It was the worst game you'll ever see a safety play. And he admitted it. And much like Riley Moss.
Riley Moss making 14 tackles. It's never good when a cornerback has to make 14 tackles.
No. And T. Higgins just he just eviscerated him. Over 100 yards when Riley Moss was the nearest defender, and some touchdowns, right? So that was bad. But Shiloh in that next game played much better.
Yeah.
Played much better. Riley Moss, I'm sure, will be much better. But we're coming off a game where it was the 3rd time, Phil, in the history of the Denver Broncos where the defense didn't force a punt in a game. 3 times ever.
Well, I feel like you're wrong on that one.
Really?
Because the defense did force a punt against the Cincinnati Bengals.
In overtime.
Yes.
Baby. Yeah. So,
all right, I corrected now.
No. You're right. You're right. But by the way I phrased it, you're right. It was the 3rd time in
drama.
they did not force a punt in regulation. Man, oh man, is there a scenario? All right, I don't want to get overly morbid here, but the question.
Let me sit back here.
The question.
Drink a little bit of water.
Can get asked here.
Can it?
If the Broncos fall on their face to finish this season and the defense is ranked dead last over the course of a month and has a good hand in the collapse, could VJ
Don't you do it.
go from being a potential head coaching candidate to be shown the door if the Broncos can't straighten this out here against Kansas City? And against Kansas City, a lot of their backups and a backup quarterback.
Yeah. No, Zach. If VJ gets canned after the reason why we've won, the reason why we're 9-8 right now is because of the defense. We have a player on our defense that might win Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, we'll talk about him too.
We have Nick Bonito, who has 11.5 sacks, has 2 interceptions taken to the house. All right, in some of the games we've won is because the defense scored touchdowns.
Yeah.
Why would VJ now be on the chop block? Why would VJ still be on the job block when he's doing the things he is doing? Please tell me this.
Hold on. Just remember, I was just asking a question. You guys should see how Phil I talk about his boy VJ. Oh, that's his guy. That's his guy.
That might trigger me more than the running back.
Oh, my gosh. And he's got the Buffs connection, too. It's like a
look at
double
you.
layered. Like, oh, my gosh. So the reason why I asked the question, in part, because I agree with most of what you said. The defense has been the backbone of this football team. The offense has been much better.
Yeah.
But the true strength in totality throughout the season has been the Broncos defense. But I bring this up because, and it works like this with players too, when coaches pick players. Like, you have like your guy, and you saw this throughout your career in college and maybe even high school too.
Sometimes you wonder, like, why do they like that guy so much?
When a coach, and if you've played sports even at even the high school level, when a coach gets a vision for a player and you're in that vision, you have to really screw it up to get yourself out of that vision. And if you're not in the vision, you have to almost bend time and space to get yourself into the vision.
I like that.
And Vance was not the first choice or the second choice for Sean Payton. So Sean's initial vision for the Denver Broncos was not hiring Vance Joseph as a defensive coordinator. They tried to get Ejiro Evero to stay. He had a loyalty to Hackett where he took a lateral move just to not coach here in Denver. Then he openly said, Sean did, that he wanted Vic Fangio to be the coach. Well, Vic didn't want to come back here and swallow that jagged pill of humility that Vance was willing to, and good on Vance.
Yeah.
But then also, we heard from Rex Ryan's big mouth that Sean Payton wanted him as the defensive coordinator, but he wanted too much money, and the Broncos were like, no, we're not giving you that much money, Rex. So you could actually make an argument that Vance was maybe the fourth option for Sean Payton.
All
and
right.
when it goes... By the way, I am in no way, shape, or form advocating for the firing of Vance Joseph.
No, but there's a lot of people out there. There's a lot of people out there that are forgetting that Vance's defense is the reason why we have these wins. I just have to put it out there because it does piss me off when all of a sudden things go haywire. Sean's making mistakes as an offensive coordinator,
right,
but yet the defense needs to bail him out. And when the defense can't bail him out, which the defense did in overtime, the defense gave Sean an opportunity, and Sean was conservative.
Twice.
Don't give me that. And I'm not talking about you, Zach. I'm talking about everybody that wants to follow suit and just act like, let's put the orange glasses on and listen to what everything Sean has to say. Not everything Sean is saying is right. Sean needs to hold himself accountable when he's messing up. So VJ needs to do the same thing. His defense is not doing well. But I'm with you, Zach.
But like through Sean's eyes, if you kind of went with them like, okay, we got to, I couldn't get these other guys, we're going with VJ. And then through Sean's eyes, that at the end of the year when we needed to win, you performed as poor as the defense has.
Yeah.
All right, when you're the worst total defense in the NFL over the course of a month, you could see the human element being like, you want to know what? We stuck you with you for 2 years, and we're going in a different direction. And I
Zach, but let me
I don't think that's going to happen, but there's a scenario where it could.
Should Greg Penner be thinking the same thing for Sean? Greg Penner, I guarantee, and I'm like Zach now, Sean was not Greg Penner's first option. Sean was not Greg Penner's second option. I think it was Jim Harbaugh, who's in the playoffs his first year. DeMeco Ryans, who's at Houston, was in his playoffs his first year. Then it was Sean Payton. If Sean decides to lose these last 3 games, because it goes on the coach now, and Sean ends up losing these last 3 games, gets beat by the Kansas City Chiefs, who have all their backups in, should Greg Penner be thinking, man, maybe Sean's not the guy for the job?
That is a great counter. And I don't know. I really don't know. And I don't, I don't know Sean's mindset either on Vance.
Yeah.
I don't know Sean's mindset on VJ, and I don't know Greg Penner's mindset on Sean. But that's a great freaking point there. I
just think it goes hand in hand right now. Like, they're so connected. It's that connected tissue you talk about even with the Denver Nuggets. Like, right now, it's just a weird situation where everybody is hand in hand. Sean and George Payton are hand in hand. Sean, George Payton, and VJ, they have this thing going, and it's worked. And if for VJ, it's like, I want to get rid of you because your defense in the last month hasn't been doing what it's been doing at the beginning, That's bullcrap, and you wanted to get rid of him in the first place. Like, it comes down to that. It's like I was with the Indianapolis Colts, and I ended up getting cut from there because I wasn't their guy. And I remember him saying, hey, look, any other time, you probably be on this team. But we have Jonathan Taylor, we're paying Nyheim Hines, and we have this young player that I brought in. And he was upfront and honest. And it was the general manager. And I think I'm going to give him his opportunity. So therefore, we're going to have to let you go. You're a veteran. I don't want to pay $1.1 million to you. And I think that we're going to be better off doing it this way. It's a cheaper way for us. He was honest, but I wasn't his guy. If Sean wants to go that route, then it's just what Sean wants. But be careful what you wish for, because every single year is a new year. Sean said it himself last year. You have to turn the puzzle piece over and restart. Yes, hopefully we have the franchise quarterback, and we think we have the franchise quarterback, but you need a good defense. And right now, Vance Joseph is a player's coach, and the players are playing for him, and they're thriving in Vance's system. If Vance leaves, it's because he's getting a head coaching job, not because he's getting fired.
Well, I'd be surprised if now I think he'll get interviews,
and he might.
And I don't know if this cycle he'll get another head coaching job. Could be coming for him in the next couple years. We'll see what it looks like, but it's one of these things where we talked about it like the second segment of the show. If they find a way to lose this game and for some godforsaken reason miss the playoffs, probably there would be some sort of
scapegoat,
fallout, however you would want to phrase it. Someone's head will probably roll. Probably. Maybe not. Maybe they'll just bring the whole thing back.
Well, how much is it? Tell me this, Zach, because yes, you're right. Somebody's head might roll. That's the nature of the beast. That's the business. Somebody has to take the fall. How much of it's on Sean then? Because I don't know how much Sean takes accountability in that room. Now, hopefully he takes accountability at times, because it has to fall on all of us. It can't just be the players. And although, yes, players make plays, players wins games, the coaches have to put you in the best situation possible to make the plays, to win the games. That's the question to me, is how much accountability will be on Sean, or Sean going to hold on this situation?
I don't know how much he's going to hold, but if they screw this up, there's going to be real criticism into this microphone. I can tell you that, because he has been off his game here. He has been off his game. He's done a great job, big picture, culturally turning around that cruise ship. But on game day, where he's supposed to be the guy,
captain.
He's the captain, the Super Bowl champion. It's the game day operation has left a lot to be desired, and there would be a lot of criticism coming his way if they lost the last 3 games of the year. I don't think that's going to happen. I think they're going to